Democrats have made an effort this year to challenge every incumbent Republican, even in districts that favor the GOP. But in this one, not one, but two Democrats are running in the primary.
The candidates are John Coleman and Donna Van Hook.
So why is it that you're running for this particular seat?
Well, when I look around my neighborhood, when I look around various communities, especially communities of color, I see that there are some things that can be improved and have not been addressed.
Van Hook retired from law enforcement, now serves on the Alamance County Soil and Water Conservation Board.
What really motivated me was when Alamance County started school 2.5 weeks late because of mold issues.
Coleman is a political newcomer who works at LabCorp. The Democrat strongly opposes private school vouchers.
One of the things for me was when the people in charge, like say somebody sitting on the education committee, decides we're going to push public dollars to private schools while our schools are closed, I find that very distasteful. And you really stop thinking, you're like, the audacity to even do that while your district is struggling.
Incumbent Amy Galey co-chairs appropriations for the Education Committee.
I would like to fully support and fund public schools.
Van Hook says she also opposes vouchers and has concerns about SROs, school resource officers.
I'm a former law enforcement officer, and I'm not in favor of school resource officers.
Why not?
Well, I think that some students are, I don't want to say targeted, but I think some students experience discipline differently than others. I also think that the school to prison pipeline is an issue that I am really.
What would you do about it?
Well, fully supporting the schools give the young people an opportunity to do better.
Before the Mebane City Council approved Buc-ee's, we asked the candidates about the store coming to North Carolina.
Let me ask you about a local issue, and that is Buc-ee's. Where do you stand on Buc-ee's?
I'm gonna catch flack, it don't matter if I say yay or nay. I didn't like what I heard from the environmental impact of it because, you know, the river is right there. That's a water source for a lot of people.
I guess I can't let you off the hook, though. You voting for it or against it?
I don't live in Mebane, so I don't have that choice.
You've raised environmental concerns, but do we label you then as undecided on this?
Yeah, okay. Undecided would be the best bet.
All right, what would you do?
I'm learning more about the protest that is going on.
Do you favor or oppose the expansion of Buc-ee's here in Alamance County?
Well, I'm still having thought about that.
Are you telling me that you're undecided about Buc-ee's?
I am undecided at this point. I'm still gathering information.
Where do you stand on casinos in North Carolina?
Well, I can see where it could be beneficial. If it's as close as, I mean, at one time we didn't have a lottery. And so I think it's kind of the same perspective.
How would you vote for adding casinos in North Carolina?
Which are not on tribal land, right?
That's right.
I think I would vote for it.
Do you favor the idea of adding casinos in North Carolina?
Casinos. I'm not against it, per se, because of the, you know, economic impact that it would bring to the state. I'm not a big fan of gambling myself. I would tell them that I'm somebody that's going to listen to the people. And if I got 10 people saying, you know, I really want this versus 1,000 saying I don't want this, I'm going to go with what's the loudest voice in the room.
There's no Republican primary in this race. The winner of the primary will challenge incumbent Amy Galey come November. Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.